Morning, YouTube. So as you can see, it is a beautiful morning here in San Diego. I just finished getting all my sharpening gear put back in the house, took everything that was worth anything out of the drawers, because here in this area of San Diego, it's not a horrible neighborhood, but it's not the best of neighborhoods. So I figured while I'm gone in Japan, I may as well lock up anything that's worth anything and put it in the house. So this is gonna be my last quick video before I leave. But I wanted to talk about something. There was I don't even think he's a subscriber. I think he was simply just a viewer, remarked about my video, my unboxing my Sebenza, where I said that it had, get this down here like this, let me scoot back. I'm a Fair and Forge knife work shirt this morning. He had mentioned about the fact that I said it had a misgrind and that I could live with it, and then we went back and forth, and he's like, send it back, you should send it back, it's a matter of you know, priorities and this and that, and they should make it right. So I'm responding to you, Crow, I think that's what it was. When I said I could live with it, that was only going to be like that to the first time I sharpen it. There are very rarely knives that I don't take the factory edge off of. I do not like, while it was sharp, I usually don't like the Chris Reeves edge. So when I say I could live with it, it only meant that I could live with it until the first time it needed resharpened, and then I was going to put my own angle on it. I do it professionally. It's not a matter of sending, because I would have sent it back and it would have come back and I would have still had to do the same thing, because I don't like that sort of compound grind that they use on the Sebenza, on the edge. So for me, it wasn't a matter of making the maker make it right. It wasn't going to be right for me anyway. I told you that one of the knives that came with one of the best edges I've ever had was my Fair and Forge Intac, and I took the edge off of it so that I could thin that angle and make it a little bit more acute, because it was just a little more obtuse. His knife, Elliot's knives, come incredibly sharp. I just know that with the way I cut. So, yep, I'm going to probably do a video from Japan. It's probably not going to be anything big. I might take you to a hardware store and see if I can't find some of those cool Japanese slip joints. Stuff like that. So I've already setting up my away message for my Gmail account that you guys would be contacting me for sharpening, the one that's always on my videos. I will be back. It is currently August 1st, 2016. Today I'm packing everything up. I fly out early in the morning on the 3rd. I do have to work tomorrow, and then I fly out early in the morning on the 3rd. So that will get done. And I want to talk about this. I got my Greg Berger custom hex driver. And you know, a lot of people are like, wow, why would you want to even get that? It's just a fancy screwdriver. I take a lot of knives apart, and as you can see, I've already used it a lot because it's already got some patina on it. So Greg Berger Customs, you can find him on Instagram. From my dealings with him, he seems like an awesome guy. Real down to earth. He started making these custom drivers. He sells them on Blade HQ. I think I got the last one on Blade HQ. So you see, it's milled brass. It is beautiful. Now I'm debating whether, because I did take some knives apart and some other stuff apart, and I used this, and people are like, why that much? These skinny little drivers that you get, these skinny little screwdrivers like this, and you try to get, and I got big hands. Comfortable, very comfortable, allows me to get a good grip. My hands don't get tired. I'm not fumbling around with this. I'm not dealing with these tiny little bits. So I do have some actual hex size Torx that I use to take knives apart and things like that. So it's an awesome little driver. So, and the other thing, last thing on my list of things that I want to talk about. Someone sent me an email asking about, you know, what are you talking about when you say flattening stones? There's a video out there that I put it in there, and I will do a actual video. I'm not going to try and dig this stuff out this morning and show you how to flatten stones. I will make that on my list of simply just doing a flattening of stones. And I did a stone maintenance video. So water stones. the spots where you use it, because that stone comes apart and wears and starts to get a little belly, what you get is a rounded dipped area. And if you're trying to, now if you're doing a convex edge, that's not such a big deal. But if you're doing a straight razor, because I use these stones to do straight razors and knives, or if you want a specific flat angle like what I did on this one on both sides, yeah, that's mirror polished, but it's a toothy mirrored edge. I have a way of doing it. Like I said, I may share that secret sometime, but if you want it to remain flat, the stone has to be flat. You have to have a flat stone, and so there's ways to do it. You can do it on concrete and stuff like that, but when I say that the stone has to be flat, I mean you need to flatten that stone. There's a maintenance process for that. Now if you're using ceramics, you're not going to have to do that. They don't belly out because they just don't wear out. So you know, I think the guy's name was Davies. I really don't remember. If you're watching, that's why when that stone starts to get bellied out, you're not going to be able to maintain that angle, especially if you're using a fixtured system. If your stones on your Edge Pro have got a belly on them, that angle's not going to be consistent through the travel of that. That's why, like, you should check them fairly often against something flat to make sure that your stones are true and flat, or you're not going to be able to maintain that specific angle that you're trying to set. Let's see, was there something else? Oh, I have a lot more subscribers now. Here recently, I think I've gotten, like another 15 or 20 subscribers. So to you guys that are enjoying my videos, appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Comments if you don't like something I'm saying, or if you don't agree with something I'm saying, let me know. I have done I do a lot of background research on the way I do things and the process that I've got it works, and people seem to be happy with the service I'm providing. I just wish there was more of them. That's all. Like I said, trying to make this into a business is requiring a lot of footwork. John Grimsmo told me, he said, yep, you're doing exactly what you need to do. It's hustling and grinding. You're just going to have to do it. So once I get comfortable to the point where I've got enough of a customer base that is set, that are going to be returning customers, you know, like I said, restaurants and hotels and things like that, I will be departing my current position with the federal government. Not that it's not a good job, just not what I'm wanting to do right now. So that's my plan. That is the plan in the works. My wife's terrified. I'm kind of nervous. Maybe mortgaging our future on something. But some people are like, you can really think you can make money sharpening knives that way? It's kind of a niche market. There aren't very many people that do the freehand sharpening that I do, and get it kitchen knives and things like that. And it's a lot less wear and tear on your knives than if you send it back. If you send it back to the manufacturer, they are going to use a belt grinder, guaranteed. Unless you send your knife back to Elliot, and then he's going to use sandpaper, and he does freehand sharpen it like mine. But like he says on his website, he'll get them sharp. But if you want them crazy sharp, because it is on the facts page, if you want them crazy sharp, send them to me. I take pride in being able to do something that a lot of people can't do, and I don't really think that I charge that much for the actual amount of work that goes into sharpening a knife. So there may be some price changes. I am going to have to, with this becoming my sole income, until I get it all figured out, prices may go up a little bit. I don't want to run off my customer base by making it too expensive, prohibitively expensive, but you know, I have to look at the fact that that's going to become a sole source of income. And then once things get going, and I still will evaluate, you know, I'm not talking about a major increase. We're talking maybe $5 a knife extra, is what I'm thinking, to maybe max out at like $35 a knife. And if your knife is not $35 worth of work, I'm not going to charge you $35. Sharpened a straight razor for a guy the other day. Told you I'll do straight razors for 20. I got it here. I realized it was horribly misground from the factory. I did call Art of Shaving and let them know that there was an issue with some of their straight razors. It was the second one I saw that was like that. But I did do the straight razor, but I didn't realize how misground it was until I got it. And I called the customer. I said, hey, I know I told you 20, but it's not $20 work. It's been a lot more work. I did actually have to lay the razor, say it's my coaster. it's a stone. So I had to lay the razor, say this is razors, I had to lay it up and down on a stone like that and basically take a frown out that was ground into it that I hadn't noticed until I started sharpening it. So the points were higher and then the middle was bellied out, and I could not get that razor sharp. And I told him, I can do it. It's just going to be more work and it's going to cost more. That's the second one I did. The other guy's wasn't as bad. I charged him 25, but I'm still, you know, it's determinant on the amount of work. I'm not going to overcharge just because I want to make more money. This is more, this is one of those customer service based things where I want happy customers, and I may have to take a hit a little bit every once in a while to maintain a happy customer. I would much rather people be happy. I would much rather have happy customers than be rich. I'd much rather look at myself in the mirror and know that I did not screw over customers, and be able to look at myself in the mirror and then still, you know, provide that service. So if I have to do more knives to equate for the fact that I'm not charging as much as some other people that are using substandard equipment, and the guy out here doing straight razors, $45 a razor, and he's damaging razors because he does not know how to do it. He's using a fixtured system where he's putting too much pressure, and you know, some of these razors are incredibly expensive. So what happens is people, especially with stroke, here we go, sharpening a straight razor. Sharpening a straight razor that just does not want to seem to take an edge because either somebody screwed up or it's misground or it's old and somebody had put tape or something on the spine, gets frustrating. And frustration when you're sharpening a straight razor is your enemy, because you will be tempted to push harder on the blade and things like that, and you can't. You just have to take your time. So I don't allow myself to get frustrated, especially with somebody else's extremely expensive gear. The straight razor I did the other day that had that horrible frown from the factory, like it had never been honed. I could look at it and see that was still a factory edge. I probably took 6 years worth of life off of that razor. So that's part of the reason I felt bad about asking for more money after. But you know, now it is sharp and now it does shave, and it did pass the hanging hair test. So it's a trade-off. I almost didn't want to ask for any more money because I had basically taken 6 years of life probably around that off of that razor. But I also knew that I had done more work than $20 worth. I really truly had. I had spent a good hour, you know, a good hour. Usually it takes me not even close to that. That's why I don't charge more than 20 very often, is because it doesn't take an hour. It takes, if you've got a good straight razor and there's nothing wrong with it, it takes me between 15 and 20 minutes. And I know that sounds, but I do have to use those stones that are crazy expensive, the stones I use for straight razors. And that's why I do charge $20, but it's still less than the guys here in San Diego that are charging $45 and $50 a razor, and they're coming back damaged. Shout out to one of the kids at work. I sharpened a knife for him, and he's a young kid just coming up in the military. He's only, if you know anything about the military, he's an E3, and just had gotten in trouble and lost some pay. But I sharpened a knife for him, and he asked me, he said, "Hey, I got a Chris Reeves titanium bead for that Chris Reeves Benz of yours. Would you take that in trade?" And I said, "I'll tell you what, I will if you put it in a lanyard." So shout out to MASN Lytle over at Naval Base San Diego. It's good work. Watched him do it. Did it in a little bit. I was like, "Hey, you know," he's like, "You sure that's awesome?" Good with that. Good with that. That's enough payment right there. Now I have a nice lanyard for my Sabenza that's way better than the one that came with it. So, but yep, like I said, back to you, Crow. I can't remember it. I think that's what it is. I will tag you in this. It wasn't so much a matter of me wanting them to make it right, because it wouldn't have been right for me anyway. I just kind of wanted to elaborate and explain on that. Last video before I leave, so I made it a little bit long, had some items I want to throw in. Once again, Greg Berger Customs on Instagram. He's got one on there that's like nickel. He made one zircotai, and he made one that's got a nickel copper alloy, like laminated like Damascus. Like I said, they patina up real nice as you use them. I'm probably going to leave it like that so it gets that antique look. This will be something I can pass down, a tool that I can pass down to my daughter, who probably would ever use it, but I don't know, she's into knives too. So, all right, YouTube, you guys have a good week, and I will try to get a video out from Japan here as soon as I can get it all put together. It's probably going to have a lot of jump cuts and things where I've tied video together because I'll go for walks with my daughter and stuff. So, all right, 15 minutes and we're out.